Everyone's fucking pissed off. Everyone's pissed off. You can fucking see it. Everyone fucking moaning about Benefit Street. One family manages to claim fuckloads of money and everyone's pissed off about it. And it's just used to fucking persecute the rest of the poor. The real poor. The sick, children, people that can't afford to eat, people on part-time contracts, people on 0-hour contracts, people getting fucked over, the sick, the pregnant, the elderly. They're the ones getting their benefits cut off by this government. And then one program comes on TV with a family, one family manages to slip through the net. And everyone's fucking pissed off about it, everyone's fucking moaning. But it's just people pointing the finger. Because your own life, you have to work 40 hours a week. And you can't afford to eat. You can't afford your own house. Can't afford a nice car. And then you see someone else, so you point the finger at them. And the news, the media, the government, newspapers, they're all involved pointing the finger at the most vulnerable people that can't fight back. They want to blame the immigrants for coming over here and stealing our jobs when there's people that can't be fucked to work. People who are sponging, who are slipping through the net. How can you blame them and the immigrants at the same time? Because there's people that don't want to work. And there's people, supposedly millions coming from Romania and Bulgaria. And you blame them because they do want to work. They do want to do the shitty jobs. It doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense. The government are taking food out of people's mouths. They're taking benefit off of the sick and the elderly. The disabled, they're not getting the care that they need. And then to justify that, they blame the spongers and the benefits, and they say that everyone on benefits, everyone should get a job. There's not enough. There's more unemployed people than there are jobs in this country, and that's a fact. That's a fucking fact. People are saying that these people are sponging. Benefit claimers are sponging. But what about the tax dodgers in this country? What about Google and Amazon and New Look and the banks that are getting bailed out with our money, with our taxpayers' money that are getting bailed out? That's billions. That's billions and billions and billions. And people are moaning that someone gets £500 a week. It doesn't make sense. They're easier to blame because they're poor. Because you can look down on them. They're easier to blame. And you just assume that everyone's the same. You see someone at the job centre and you think, get a fucking job. Pretty sure it's not that easy. I'm pretty sure the majority of people on benefits are on there because they have to be. And yeah, a few people slip through the net. So what? I mean, I'm pretty sure the money that the government spend on spongers is a tiny, 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 tiny fraction. But then you get child benefits being stripped from children from single parent families. And then they get blamed. They get fucking blamed for austerity. Oh, the benefit system's being taxed. Oh, there's too much pressure on our hospitals. It's because of the poor. It's because of immigrants. No. You got George Osborne and MPs claiming expenses for their own children, like £1,000 expenses a month for their own children, but yet they're cutting off benefits for the poorest children. Which doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Doesn't make any sense at all. You got people coming to this country, companies, corporations, banks, they come to this country specifically to dodge tax. That's the only reason they're here. It's to dodge tax. Billions in tax. And they're making billions in revenue, and they're dodging the tax, and we have to subsidise that. You got the NHS being sold off to Serco and Virgin or whatever, and the government still subsidises that, but the money goes in the pockets of the shareholders. You got the government subsidising £2 billion for rail companies, for rail franchises, but the profits are still going in the pockets of the shareholders and the CEOs' bonuses. It just doesn't make any fucking sense to me. The government don't want to They don't want to look at themselves and admit themselves that they're taking money out of the pockets of you and me, which they are doing. They are doing that every day. Instead, they blame the immigrants. Oh, they're using up all of our services. They blame the poor. Oh, they're sponging off the rich. But I'm happy to pay my taxes for schools and hospitals, whatever. Yeah, our son will get through the net. But you can't fucking blame everyone for that. You can't blame everyone for a few people getting through the fucking net. You can't blame them. And the government, they're happy for people to slip through the net because then they got someone to point a finger at. They don't want to clear that up. You just got a class war. That's what it is a class war. The political classes, the kleptocrats, they're the ones robbing off of the middle classes. And then the middle classes are getting robbed from, so they blame the poor classes, the benefit classes. It's a fucked up system. And the driver of the fucked up system is corporations and billion pound corporations upping their bank balances at the expense of you and me. And no one wants to do anything about it. Let's see a documentary about the head of Amazon who's probably saved billions in tax. Let's see a documentary. Let's go to his house. Let's see the plasma TV that he's got at your expense. No one wants to care about that. No, you don't see that on TV. You don't see cameras following around the tax dodgers, the billion-pound tax dodgers. Nah, that doesn't happen. That's a fucking damn shame, because I want to see where they live. I want to go to their houses and see how much money they've got. It's a fucking joke. And people get so pissed off. People are obviously pissed off because they get pissed off about these benefit claimants. They get pissed off about that. So they're obviously pissed off. They need to direct their anger into the right places. Don't direct your anger downwards at the poor. Direct your anger upwards at the fucking rich, because they're the ones that are robbing. Fucking democracy. Bullshit.